I will show you how to create an HTML e-newsletter delivered via email using Thunderbird, an add-on, in your Gmail account. This involves three procedures. The first procedure is to go ahead and enable the pop in Gmail. The second procedure will involve installing Thunderbird. Third procedure is to install the add-on and then, using the add-on, create and send the e-newsletter. The first procedure will involve us enabling pop in Gmail. To do so, sign into your Gmail account, click the gear icon on the upper right hand corner, and select Mail Settings. Press the forward and pop /IMAP link and select Enable Pop for all mail. I already have enabled that feature, so I don't need to do it again, but you should do so if it's not already enabled by clicking on this radio button. Then press the Save Changes, and that concludes the first procedure. Okay, I'm going to go down here to my shortcut bar and I'm going to double click on Thunderbird, or just click once. It's going to ask you if you want to open it. Since it's an application you downloaded from the internet, click Open. And it's going to ask you if you want to import anything. I'm going to say don't import anything and continue. Okay. The first thing it's going to ask you is for your name, your email address, and your password. This would be your name, this would be your Gmail account, and this would be the password for your Gmail account. This window will come up. The problem with this is that it's IMAP. We want to go ahead and change that to POP. Click the Edit button, and then change from the pull-down menu from IMAP to POP. And we're going to go ahead and change also the port number to read 995. Once you have done so, you can go ahead and click Retest Configuration and press the Create Account button. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click OK again. And now my account is set up to my Gmail account, and what it's doing right now is downloading a whole bunch of messages. Alright, for this next procedure I need to go back to my browser. You should do the same. And I need to go to the add-ons. Once I get there, and you have a link on the literature I gave you in class, or you can just simply search for add-ons and type in stationery, and then it will take you here. Go ahead and download it. So download it. It also is going to give you instructions when you click the Download Now button. So you'll see the instructions here. Follow those instructions. I'm going to go ahead and do just that. Next. Okay, once I'm in Thunderbird, I'm going to go ahead and open the add-ons from the Tools menu. So I'm going to go to the Tools menu, click Add-ons. I'm going to click on the Install button, which will go ahead and take me to this navigation window. It's on my desktop, so I click on Desktop. I look at Stationery, and I click Open. Okay, I do trust it by clicking Install Now. I'm going to have to restart Thunderbird, so conveniently it gives me this little button, which I'm going to click, and it will go ahead and restart Thunderbird for me with the plugin added on. Now, at the very tip of this menu under Tools, you should see Stationery options. When you click there, you should see this little button. Sometimes for some Macs, for some reason, it puts it way over here. Look down there, you'll see it, and then just drag the window here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this window because I don't need to use it right now. The next procedure will be how we create our email e-newsletter. So let me show you how to do that next. The coolest thing about having this add-on installed is that if you click the right button on your Thunderbird, you have now the option of adding HTML by clicking on the source HTML button. Here you can write on full-on and unaltered HTML with links somewhere else if you wanted to, pointing to images you might have on your server. So, how do we do that? Well, you can get a template and copy and paste the template here. And as long as any images or anything interesting going on is pointing to the server where it is going to be hosted, then you should have no problems. So I'm going to go ahead and do such example. I have provided you with a link where they give you free HTML templates. So if you go to that link that I give you on your handout at campaignmonitor.com/templates, you should be able to see plenty of templates. If one of them catches your eye, what you want to do is download the template, and then we can go ahead and I'm going to do that. I'm going to click download. I'm going to save it. It's going to save. And I'm going to go ahead and install it, or rather unzip it. That's uncompressing the file, which will give me a folder. I'm going to double click on that folder. I have the HTML folder, which is what I'm interested in. And I'm going to go ahead and double click on say full width. And I'm going to say okay, open up. So I'm interested with on this template. I'm going to replace it with my own graphics, etc., etc. For now, I just want to show you how easy this is. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize my Firefox, and I am looking at my worn updated folder. I want this code. I want the HTML code, which I can get by looking at it on my browser, and then going to the view menu and selecting page source. This is all the HTML. Now you don't need to know what this is. You just need to know that you have to select all, copy. So I went to edit, select all, and then copy. And then from my Thunderbird, I can go to write. I can go to source HTML. I can select all again, Apple A, and then Apple V, as in voyage, to paste my message. When I go back to edit, I have the framework for my message. Now, if I go back to source HTML, I'm going to note a couple of things. Well, my graphics are not showing, right? The reason that the graphics are not showing is because right now you have them pointing to a path that doesn't exist. So right here, for example, it says images/bg email.png. Well, right now I'm creating my email message, and it's in reference to the desktop. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close this and say don't save. So whereas it gives me the architecture or the framework, I want to be able to see the nice little backgrounds with the nice little pictures and put my own. So how do I do that? Okay. So here's the part where I tell you that you need to have hosting somewhere. Right now you have hosting for free with uStorage, and inside UWeb you can put those files. I'm going to do just that. Now, if you are buying hosting, then you would just upload the files in the same manner that I'm going to do it. The process might be a little different, but that is what needs to be happening. Just click on the desktop here. Then I'm going to go to the Go menu and say connect to server. Now, you got to make sure that you have the internet turned on, or else this is not going to work, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and type smb://uStorage.ucsb.edu/Joe Gaucho. Then click connect. Okay, you gotta change the name, Joe Gaucho, because your name is gonna be different than your net ID, obviously. Okay, then you type in your password, and now you have access to your UWeb folder. Pretty snazzy, huh? Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and make a folder here. I'm just gonna right click, 2 fingers on my tab, and then call this one eNewsletter. I'll just newsletter. Okay. Inside this folder, I'm going to go ahead and put the files that I need for my HTML that I'm going to use on my eNewsletter. So I'm looking at my uStorage inside UWeb folder, and now I'm about to move some stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and move the HTML folder in here to my inside my newsletter. So I don't need to use HTML. I don't need that folder, so I'm just going to grab the files like this and then drop them in here. And it's copying those files to the server. I'm going to go ahead and close this. And then I'm looking at my images, make sure my images came by, and they did, and everything seems to be good. So let's go ahead and do a test. I want to be able to see this work, so I'm going to open my browser. Then I'm going to go ahead and go to uweb.ucb.edu / tilde Joe Gaucho / newsletter. Almost there. And the name of my document. Full_with.html. Let's see. Okay, I typed the right path, but can anybody tell me where I have an error? Well, earlier I put my newsletter folder outside my UWeb folder. It needs to be inside the UWeb folder. So I'm going to drag the newsletter folder into the UWeb folder. Then I'm going to go back to my browser and refresh, and now it should work just fine. Okay? Alright, so here's the cool part. Once you have it there, go ahead and look at the page source. Go ahead and select the code, copy. Then open your Thunderbird. Create a new or write a new message. Click source. Paste the source. This is the new source now. And if we look at where the images are, now it has the relative path to this. So it's still not going to show your images, but we know something about these images now. We know that these images are in relationship to this path. So I can copy that path. And then I can go ahead and start changing a little bit of HTML. What we need here is an absolute path versus a relative path. So I need to go ahead and add to this paths, which are relative right now, absolute paths. We did talk about absolute paths when I was showing you Dreamweaver. So I can go ahead and do that here, or I can go ahead and do it in actually Dreamweaver. Click on the edit menu. You notice that I did manually a couple of the images already, but some of them are going to be broken, like this one right here, because I missed them in purpose. So I'm going to double click on that image, and now it's going to go ahead and give me the path or where this image might be. In this case, I misspelled it, so I'm just going to fix it and click OK. And then it should be fine. Okay. Then the next thing that I'm going to note is that this is gone right here. So let's go ahead and fix it. To fix it, double click on it. You'll see the relative path. We need to go ahead and paste the absolute path where this image is. And then click OK. And that will go ahead and give you just that. And then I'm going to do the same to this. For this, I'm going to go ahead and type in the absolute path. And then click OK, and that will fix those stars. And I think I got all the backgrounds and the images. Now, this is the interesting part of doing this, okay? Is that you can change the actual content of the newsletter and make it your own newsletter. So I'm going to go ahead and just change a couple stuff letter, view it in the browser, because you already have a copy of this into your account in UWeb. You can go ahead and link it to the right place. Okay, now to send it. To send it, it's just like any other email. So I'm going to go ahead and send it to myself at my Hotmail account. News test. Because I want to remove it later on. Of course, you can add more than one person. You can add a whole bunch of people here. You can go ahead and make a list of people and then add to those lists. Remember, you are using your Gmail account, so you could go ahead and do just that. You can have a news group or a follow through or reply to two, but we're sending it, so it's just two. And then go ahead and press send. Okay, once you added your content, you added the document onto your storage, you're ready to send it. You send it, and then people will go ahead and get the following. I'm going to go to my Hotmail account, and I'm going to go ahead and click Hotmail, and here you go. I have the news test, right? So it will go ahead and load up the newsletter. There you have it.